Chapter 35 spoilers are here, and chances are Chapter 35 is about to reveal a brand new arc. An arc that could be far more interesting than we expected. And that arc may involve Code's mission to kidnap Sarada. So yeah, an official preview panel has just been released, showing Sarada walking out of a room and immediately being confronted by a mysterious kunai that lands in the ground right in front of her. A kunai that's incredibly difficult to identify, and more importantly, a kunai we've never seen before, right? But I'm pretty sure that most fans will instantly assume that it belongs to Boruto. However, before jumping to that conclusion, let's take a deeper look at this single preview panel from Chapter 35. I'm Nim without an E. Please help me reach 100 likes or 1,000 on hype points, and once again, thank you so much, guys. As we know from the previous chapters, Sarada is really in pretty bad shape. Her vision is getting worse. Even when she wears her glasses, her vision still looks blurry. And that's why the appearance of this panel feels so intriguing. Because Chapter 35 actually shows a completely different situation. Sarada appears to be doing much better. In fact, the moment she walked out of the room, she mentioned that her vision was already good enough for the time being. A simple statement on the surface, but one that raises an important question. How did that happen? And who or what actually caused Sarada's eyesight to get better? Because if we look back at what happened in Chapter 34, there was no special treatment involved, no surgery, no medical procedure. Even when Sakura examined her eyes, their conversation focused more on the reasons behind Sarada's decision and the burden she had been carrying. In other words, the manga has never shown what caused Sarada's vision to suddenly get better, and that's what makes this small detail feel suspicious, yet surprisingly interesting. Did Sakura secretly do something off-panel? Is Sarada's eyesight naturally recovering on its own? Or is there another factor that Ikemoto is deliberately keeping hidden from readers? So the first thing I think we need to discuss is a very simple question. Why does Sarada's vision in Chapter 35 seem so much better, even though she's still wearing the same glasses? And in my opinion, the most reasonable answer right now isn't Sakura. Because if Sakura had actually managed to fix Sarada's eye condition, then there would be very little reason for the manga to hide that process, right? Especially considering that Sarada's eye condition has been one of the main focuses ever since the end of the Mamushi invasion arc. And the fact that none of it was shown makes me feel like Ikemoto is holding something back, or perhaps deliberately hiding something from us. Now, I'll admit that this theory isn't completely solid, but if I had to give the most likely explanation right now, I'd say that Sarada's eyesight has gotten better because her body is gradually adapting to her Mangekyo Sharingan. And don't forget, we still haven't truly seen Sarada use her Mangekyo Sharingan to its full extent. So far, we've only seen a fraction of what it's capable of. Because of that, it's entirely possible that the vision problems Sarada has been experiencing aren't the result of a normal illness at all, but rather a side effect of a dojutsu that has yet to fully stabilize. And if that theory turns out to be correct, then Sarada's improving eyesight could be a sign that her Mangekyo Sharingan is finally reaching a more stable state. Although, to be fair, there might be a much simpler explanation that I've overlooked. Maybe the reason Sarada's vision seems better now is simply because her lenses were changed. For example, if her previous glasses could only correct her vision to a certain degree, her current lenses might just be stronger and better suited to her condition. Yeah, you probably get what I mean. But what do you guys think? What's your own explanation for why Sarada's eyesight suddenly seems much better in Chapter 35? Now, let's move on to the second point. And of course, this point is the most intriguing part of the entire Chapter 35 leak. Namely, the mysterious kunai that suddenly appeared right in front of Sarada. Because honestly, the longer I look at this panel, the harder it is for me to immediately conclude that the kunai belongs to Boruto. It's true that Boruto is the first character that comes to mind for many fans, especially since Boruto has often appeared out of nowhere and used various ninja tools in battle. But the thing is, the kunai we see in this panel feels very different. Its shape isn't the same as the kunai that Boruto has used in the manga so far. The design looks larger, thicker, and most importantly, there's a very striking spiral pattern pattern in the center, a detail that even immediately caught Sarada's attention. And in my opinion, this is the biggest clue Ikemoto is giving us. And once again, regardless of whether it truly belongs to Boruto or not, trying to analyze and consider various possibilities is, in my view, far more interesting and less monotonous. Don't you agree? And as you've seen in this panel, if you notice, Sarada doesn't immediately focus on who threw the kunai. Instead, the first thing she notices is the spiral pattern on the kunai. This means that the spiral symbol is likely far more important than the kunai itself. And when we talk about spiral symbols in the current Boruto era, there's one name that's very hard to ignore. And of course, based on Kashin Koji's previous prophecy regarding the battle between Code and Boruto in the Shinju dimension, the most likely scenario, if Boruto fails to kill Code, especially if Code himself sees no chance of winning against him and chooses to flee, is that, as Koji observed, he'll resort to kidnapping Sarada as a bargaining chip with the Divine Tree, right? But let's say it's neither Code nor Boruto. Then who is it really? And interestingly, based on the community's response after this panel was released, it turns out there are quite a few fans who are actually pointing to two rather surprising names, namely Himawari and Karen. To be honest, when I first saw that theory, I found it pretty hard to believe. After all, neither Himawari nor Karen has ever been shown using a kunai with that specific design. However, after seeing the reasons given by some fans, the theory isn't entirely off the mark. Take Himawari, for example. Currently, Himawari is one of the characters experiencing the greatest growth and power within the story. Her relationship with Kurama has made her role far more significant than before. And if Konoha is indeed facing an increasingly grave threat, it's not impossible that Himawari will begin to get involved in the main conflict. But what might be the biggest point of debate regarding the Himawari theory is one very simple thing. Why does it have to be that way? I mean, if Himawari really wanted to meet Sarada or warn her about something dangerous, then why did she have to throw a kunai first? What's the purpose behind that action? Because as far as we know, the relationship between Himawari and Sarada has never shown any signs of conflict. In fact, quite the opposite. They're on the same side. So if Himawari really wanted to talk to Sarada or warn her about something, she could have done it directly without needing to use a method that looks like an ambush. And that's why I find it hard to accept this theory. Because, in terms of motive, Himawari has almost no reason to do something like that, unless there's something we don't know yet. For example, Himawari might be trying to warn Sarada about a specific threat, or maybe she's chasing someone else and the kunai wasn't actually meant for Sarada. But again, all those possibilities feel too complicated to explain in just one teaser panel. That's why, even though the theory is quite interesting, I still feel that the likelihood of Himawari being behind that kunai is relatively low. Because in a theory, it's not just the identity of the culprit that matters, it's also the motive. And so far, I still haven't seen a strong enough reason why Himawari would do that to Sarada. Meanwhile, the theory regarding Karen emerged for a rather interesting reason, namely the spiral symbol on the kunai. Because, as we know, the Uzumaki clan is synonymous with the vortex or spiral symbol. In fact, that emblem has been part of their identity since the Naruto era. And since Karen is one of the few living pure-blooded members of the Uzumaki clan, some fans suspect that the symbol might be connected to her. That said, if you ask for my personal opinion, I still think that possibility is much less likely than the theories pointing to Boruto or Code. Because, as of now, those two characters have the strongest reasons to appear right in front of Sarada. But once again, this is what makes this single panel leak so intriguing. Because for the first time in the last few chapters, Ikemoto has managed to create a single simple panel that actually opens up so many possibilities. Is it Boruto? Is it Code? Or is it someone we never expected at all? But what do you guys think? If you enjoyed this, help me get 100 likes. Thanks for watching. I'm Nim without the E. See you in the next spoiler. Bye-bye. Data bio.